So the very first problem which we want to start is the Amazon fine food reviews. And this is the coming from the Kaggle website, where you can see that this is the link which I'll share with all of you guys. So you have to create an account in Kaggle where you can register and you can use this data sets. This particular platform is like very amazing platform for all the data science aspirants and want to learn data science, right? So a lot of real-time data set you will find out here. Whatever data set we are going to work today and will work in this use case, this will be a real-time data from Amazon. So first of all, before I jump to the data set directly, it's very important for us to understand what we are looking for. So for that, I will prefer to go to the Amazon itself and try to understand what we are trying to do in this problem. I found out this product, which is a sanitizer. People are using it a lot these days. So we can relate this more better. So that's why I'll go ahead and talk about this product. Let's say I'm clicking on this particular product, which is Amazon brand. And this is the product name. You can see here we have the reviews, right? You can see the star out here. What is the star? Total number of stars this product got, total number of ratings, right? All those details about this particular product. This is the company name, Climate Pledge Friendly. So this is basically selling this product. So if I click on this 1294 ratings, you will get this chart. Basically, this is what? This is nothing but a histogram. This is a rating histogram, which helps me understand that about this product, 81% of the people gave 5-star rating, 13% people gave 4-star rating, and so on. So it's a histogram, basically the distribution of the data, right? That this is the 5 rating, this is the 4 rating, 3 rating, 2 rating, and 1 rating. How many people gave how much rating, right? So majority of the people are giving 5 as a rating. Now, if I go down, you can see that you are getting the various reviews. Here you can see this is the 5-star rating given on 14th of December 2020. This is the short description of the rating. Basically, no problems, decent price. Apart from that, you can see this is the entire text, which is talking about how the product is. And this text is basically very important for anyone who is looking to purchase the product, right? So normally what we do, we go here and check the ratings and then purchase the product. So this is the key factor for me to deciding like whether shall I go for this product or not. If I go down further, you can see that there is one more button called helpful or report abuse. So this helpful button is basically nothing but if I find this particular review helpful, then I will click on this button. You can see here 36 people found this helpful, right? Same way, there are various different feedbacks are available for the product. If I go down, you can see that here I have the user ID also, or I can say profile name, right? Becky, RJ, Miss Barbara, and so on. These are the profile names. If I go down, you can see that there is an option of this thing there. You can see this see all reviews. If I click on this, you can see that we have what Amazon is doing is Amazon segregating the reviews into top positive reviews and top critical reviews. Positive reviews are nothing but basically the good reviews, and the critical reviews are nothing but the bad reviews or a point of concern basically. Normally when we have 5-star, we consider 3 stars as average, right? Anything which is above 4 or 5, or I can say above 4 basically, are my positive rating, and anything which is having a rating of 2 or 1 considered as negative rating, right? So if I go here further, if I click on my all critical reviews, you can see that we are getting all the critical reviews where you can see 1 star, 1 star, right? 1 star, talking about the negative points of this product. Created huge allergic reaction in my body and so on. I can click on this helpful, then it will have the details. So basically this is the entire data which I have on the reviews, right? This is the entire data what we are going to talk about. So once you go to Kaggle, you will get this option, download the file. You can very well download that, and what you will get is basically you will get this type of data. Here you can see I have 3 files. One is database.sqlite and the second one is reviews, right? Hashes we really don't require. It's just a file coming from the GitHub talking about the versions of the file, so that we can ignore. So what I will do is I'll go ahead and download. See, again, this review file and this database.sqlite both are same. It is just here I am using the SQL, the light version SQL. So basically SQL is nothing but a database system where I have different tables which we are storing. Just to check that, I will right click on this database SQLite and I will open up in Notepad++. Again, it's a binary file. Obviously, when you open, it will not be very much readable, but we'll get an idea here. You see here, the table is created, reviews. So in this file, there is a table called reviews and it has some data in it. That's why the file size is, you can see, that's why the file size, you can find it is a huge number, right? 364,061 KB. That means some data is there out here. Now, before I go ahead, some more thing which I want to talk about, or let's do one thing. Let's open up the file. I'll see the columns what we have, right? So let's open up the file. Here you can see I have many columns coming from reviews table. One is ID, which is obviously the review ID, because we are maintaining the reviews of my customers, right? And each review will have its own unique ID, right? It's maybe a system generated ID by the Amazon database, right? Then we have the product ID. Every product has its own ID, right? So for example, let's say I'm talking about sanitizer. So it has some ID, let's say 123. I'm talking about, let's say, mobile phone for particular brand, then it has its own product ID. So each product will have its own ID, right? And again, in this data set, I will have a certain unique number of products, right? We'll see how many products are there. Then we have the user ID, which is nothing but, let's say, suppose I am the user, so I'm giving some review. So that has its own user ID, my user ID basically. Profile name. We already saw the profile name out here, right? So we already have seen the profile name, which is this one, Eloquent. Right? So this is my profile name basically. Then if I go back to my data, you can see now we have some more columns coming in, which is known as helpfulness numerator, which is an integer, and we have helpfulness denominator, which is also an integer. Now these columns are, they are maintaining it, so we should have the understanding of what these columns are and what is the meaning of it, right? So if you are not clear, you have to check with the business that what's going on, what this column means actually. So helpfulness numerator is nothing but, let's try to understand that. If I go back to this data, let me open up this feedback. And now you can see here, it is saying 36 people found this helpful. So my helpfulness, whatever the column is, what was that? Helpfulness numerator. So my helpfulness numerator is nothing but 36. Because 36 people liked or found this helpful. Right? So that will be my numerator. Helpfulness numerator. And my the other thing, helpfulness denominator, is nothing but 36 plus some number. And that number is nothing but people who did not, they must have seen the review, but did not click this helpful icon, helpful button. Right? So basically 36 are my total customers who liked the feedback or found it helpful upon total number of customers. So my numerator will be total liking upon total customers. Right? So that is what the idea is. Now if I go to the next, we have the score column, which is obviously nothing but the stars, right? So I have 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. So every product has its own star. So this score is giving me that what is the star rating for that particular product by a given user, because the data is stored at the user level, right? So suppose I have a product sanitizer, I gave the rating as 1. Maybe Mahima have given this rating as 2, or Herschel gave it as 5, right? That depends. So I will have a data at user ID level, and we are storing the rating for that particular product. So here, score has 5 values. What I will do in my data set, I will consider 3 as an average. I don't want this records. I don't want these records, basically. I will just work on 4 and 5 rating, which is I will consider as positive, and I will work on 1 and 2 rating, which I will consider as negative. 3 I will skip. So once I read the data, I will apply one filter where I don't want rating as 3. And from there, what I will do is I will convert this particular column. So as of now, I have a score column which consists of 1, 2, 4, 5. What I will do, I will write a logic while loading the data, or once the data gets loaded. I'll say that if your rating is less than 3, then make it as 0. And if your rating is more than 3, then make it as 1, where 0 means a negative review and 1 means the positive review. Right? That logic I will write. Because at the end, what I want is I want to create a classification algorithm. Now, classification algorithm is what? Where I want to know whether something will happen or not, whether the product is negative or a positive. Right? So I am trying to create an algorithm which will classify the product. If someone will come up with a product, I want to know whether this is having a negative review or a positive review. That is what my ultimate aim is. Because as of now, I have the rating 1, 2, 4, 5. When I come up with an algorithm with only these numbers, then it can consider as a regression problem where I am predicting the continuous number. I don't want that. I want a categorical. I want a discrete value. Right? So regression is nothing but when I have a data set Dn which consists of xi's and yi's, xi's and yi basically, such that my xi belongs to a real valued number and my yi also belongs to a real valued number, where I will have multiple columns for xi's but single column for yi. For example, let's say I want to predict car price. So my car price is yi. However, my xi's will be maybe mileage, maybe whether the car is accidental or not accidental, automatic or manual, and all those are my features. Those are my xi's. So here I am predicting a real valued number, which I don't want in this scenario. In this scenario, I have the score 1, 2, 4, 5, and this can very well be solved as a regression problem, where I am predicting the real valued number, that is score. But I don't want that. What I'm thinking of, let's go with the data set where I have xi's and yi such that xi belongs to real valued number and my yi will be 0 and 1, where 0 is my negative review and 1 is my positive review. Right, so that is the whole idea we are thinking of. It's a classification problem, typical classification problem where I'm classifying the product. Right, now from this particular predictions, what I can do is, suppose I am the manufacturer or I am the supplier of that product. If I know that this particular product is having a positive review, suppose there is a product, it has a positive review, so I know that customer are liking this product because of certain features in that. Because when we write a review, we write that okay, this product is amazing because this and so on. So it gives a good understanding to a business that okay, this is the reason they are liking the product. So if in future, if I'm coming up with a new product, I have to incorporate that particular feature as well. However, if the product is negative, again the user will understand, or I can say the business user will understand that why this product is negative and I will not incorporate this particular feature in the new product. Right, so these are very important for the business. Right, so we can avoid this negative things and so on. Now if I come back to the next data, so basically time, at what time the feedback was given, so that time is getting captured as well. Then we have the summary and we have the text, which we already saw also. So if I go back to amazon.com, you can see that here I have everything. If you see here, I have the time 14th of December 2020, which is the time which we are capturing. Then this is the summary, no problems, decent price, that is my summary data. And then I have this text. And if I think logically, these two columns are the most important column in our data set, because this is going to help me understand that what is the product all about, whether the rating is positive, whether this product is liked by the people or not. This is like the most important column, and we have to use this. We have to use this data to come up with the insights, to come up with the model. Right, so this is about understanding the data. This is the very first thing which you have to do. That once you have a data, directly jumping to Python and solving that will not help. First you have to understand what's going on, what is the requirement and everything. After that we have to jump to Python. Now once I have all understanding with me, I know that I have two files. I can use either the database.SQLite or I can use reviews. Both consist of the same data. One is in the SQL format, second is in the CSV format, comma separated value files. Right, so I will use this SQLite because we used CSV quite a lot. So let's go with SQLite as an option. For this, I have to write certain codes where I have to tell Python that I have to create one connection which will help me to read this data. So basically, I will have, suppose, data, right? This is my data. And I have written the Python code. And I have to create one connection. I have to create one connection with SQLite so that if I run this code, it will hit the database, gets the data, and then put it in Python. And this process will be done by the connection which you will make. Right, so I have to, because see, this is one file, or I can say there is one code and this one file. My requirement is that I want to run a code which will actually leverage this data and put it in my instance of Python. So for that, one connection is required, and that is what we have to make. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and open up the Anaconda. So this is the instance of Anaconda. What I'll do is I'll write certain lines of a code which will help me to connect to my databases. So here, few of the packages I have to import to basically achieve this. As of now, two packages are important for me to achieve reading this particular data from my SQLite file. One is import SQLite 3. Packages are nothing but something like a procedure which is already built by someone, right? Those guys who are coming from data warehouse world. We are creating a lot many procedures, stored procedures, which we use for our day-to-day work. So it is developed by someone and we are leveraging that. Same way, the packages, or I can say I'm importing this package in my current instance of Anaconda, is developed by someone and we are leveraging that. And this particular package, what it does is it is helping me to connect my SQLite database with Python. Same way, we have one more package which I will need, which is Pandas. Pandas is one of the very, very powerful package which we have, which helps me to connect to the data from any sources. For example, Excel file or CSV file or XML file or SQLite, right? All these particular databases can be connected using Pandas. So basically, if I have a data, I want to make a structured data in Python, then Pandas comes into picture. Basically, it helps me to create the table in Python, right? That is the whole idea. Apart from that, we will import a lot many other packages also, but as of now, we are not doing it because we are at the very initial stage where we are just importing the data set, right? So as and when we'll proceed, we'll import the relevant packages as well. One more package I will definitely install, which is known as OS, operating system. The purpose of operating system is basically to set the working directory in my current instance of Anaconda, Jupyter Notebook. So basically my file is present where? My file is present at this path. So I have to set this location as my working directory so that I can pick up the file from this location, which is the database SQLite file. So I will tell Jupyter that, okay, os.chdir, which is known as change directory. First of all, I will do one more command, write one more command, os.getcwd. Getcwd will help me understand that what is my current working directory, which is users Rahul. I don't want that. I want this particular location as my working directory, which is the E drive, courses, and so on. Right. So I'm just changing this working directory. I'm using this R because I want to tell Python that this is my raw text. If you don't write R, it will fail. So what we can do, let me run this. So if you see that here, now it is working fine because it's already imported previously, but you have to pass this double quotes if you don't want to write R. The reason being, slashes is a part of the code. When we are writing Python code, slash is one of the important parts of the code, escape character. And in your string also escape character is there. So I have to tell Python that this slash is not the escape character. This slash is a part of a string. That's why I have to pass two quotes or two slashes, because I have to tell Python that this code, this slash basically is a part of the string and this slash is the escape character, right? So you can put the double slashes so that Python will understand that one of the slash is a part of a string and one of a slash is the escape character, helping us understand that another slash is a part of a string. But I can go and I can write R, which is a raw text. So Python will read it as raw text and it will make my working directory as the path which I have given. So if I now come out here and check my working directory again, you can see that we have the new path where the file is present, and that is what I wanted. Now what I will do is I'll open up a connection. I will open up a connection which will help me to read the data from the local machine, the SQLite file. And I want to import that in this current instance of Jupyter Notebook. And mind you, again, whatever we are running here is a RAM specific. If I close this instance, everything is gone, right? Everything runs on the RAM. So here I will write SQLite.3 or SQLite3 dot connect, and I want to connect the file which is database.SQLite. Okay. So I am establishing the connection of this file with my instance of Python. And after that, I will start and write a query. Where in the query, I will say, let's say I'm giving the name as filtered data is equal to. The benefit of SQLite is that I can able to write the query in a SQL form. Those guys coming from SQL background, they will understand how to write the query in a SQL database. And the same thing I can do it here also. And that is the benefit which you will get. So here I will have pd.read. You can see there is an option. PD is again pandas. If you see, I imported my pandas as PD alias. I gave the alias as PD so that I cannot write pandas everywhere. I will have the PD dot, and then we will have read. I want to read the SQL query. And my SQL query would be, I will pass 3 triple quotes and I will say select star from reviews where score is not equal to 3 and get this from the connection. Simple. I am saying that I want to read this query. I want to read this query from the connection, and the connection is what? Database SQLite, which is the file, right? Which is the file. So I'm saying that from this particular data, I want to read this data, which is select star from reviews where score is not equal to 3. And now when I execute this, it will take some time. Yeah. And now when I check my filtered data, you can see that my data is with me now. I have the ID, the review ID, I have the product ID, I have the user ID, I have the profile name, I have the helpfulness numerator, I have the helpfulness denominator, the score, the time. You can see it's a Unix format. It's a bit of a different format. We'll see that later on, but yeah, it's a Unix format time. Then we have the summary, and then we have the text. Entire data is with me now, where the ratings are obviously 1, 2, and 4, 5. 3 I am not picking up. Now, once that is done, what I will do is basically now the score column is there. I don't want score as 1, 2, 4, 5. I want it as 0 and 1 with the logic which we have discussed. That I want all the reviews with the 1 and 2 as the negative. So I will make it as 0. And all the reviews which are 4 and 5, I'll make it as positive. So I'll write 1. 0 means negative review, 1 means positive review. So I'll write the logic there. First of all, I'll create a small function in Python which will take care of that. So def partition, I'm giving the function name as partition. Def is to define the function. I'm defining the function, giving the function name as partition, and it will take one value as an input, x, which is a random variable which I'm passing, right? X will consider as one row at a time, right? You can give anything. I can give A, B, C, whatever. After that, I will say if my x is less than 3, then return 0, else return 1. So I'm writing a simple logic where I'm saying that if I find my x as less than 3, make it as 0, else make it as 1. So what I will do, I'll pass this field, right? The score field. That is what my intention is here. I will pass my score field in this function, and wherever I'll find less than 3, I will make it as 0. Wherever I'll find more than 3, then I'll otherwise 3, more than 3, I'll make it as 1. So I'll run few steps here. I will create my filtered data and I'll have my score column. I'll have the score column. I think S is capital. Again, it's case sensitive, right? So be sure for that. So my S is capital here. You can see I'm getting the scores 5, 1, 4, 2, 5, and so on. What I will do is I'll store it somewhere. Actual score is equal to this. I'm creating one variable, actual score, and I'm storing the value out here, right? And if you see in actual score, I will have only actual score column. Okay. Now, once I have this with me, actual score, I will do some modification out here. I'll say that, okay, in this actual score, I want to map. There is a command called map coming from again pandas. So actual score dot map. I want to apply the partition. Partition is nothing but my function which I have created. So if I execute this, you can see that everything is now becoming 0 and 1. First record is 1, second record is 0. Why? Let's check that. I have the actual score. First record is 5, second record is 1. And we wrote the logic, right? If x is less than 3, make it 0. If x is more than 3, then make it 5. Make it 1. And that is what we are doing it, right? If I go back here, that is what we are doing it. Perfect. So I have changed it. As of now, I just changed, but I have to store it somewhere. Let me store it to positive, negative is equal to this. So I'm coming up with one more variable, which is helping me to convert my reviews. And now I have one more variable coming in, which is nothing but positive, negative. You can see here. So basically what I did here till now what we have done is from the data frame, the table which we have created, this table is known as data frame. Anything a structure format data is considered as a data frame in Python, right? So it's a data frame, basically a table in Python, right? So now what I did is from this data frame, I took this score column. So let's try to understand what we have done till now. I have a data frame which consists of various columns. In that, one of the columns is score. I am taking this score column and storing that in actual score, right? So I am coming up with single column which consists of actual score. Here I have 5, 4, 1, 2, 2, 1, something like that. And on top of that, I'm applying my partition function, which is at here. And I'm creating one more variable called positive, negative. And based on the logic, 5 became 1, 4 became 1, 1 became 0, 2 became 0, 2 became 0, 1 became 0. I transformed the data. So in this particular field, positive, negative, I'll have only 1 or 0, where 1 is my positive reviews and 0 is my negative reviews. Now what I'll do is I'll use this positive, negative, and I will put that in my actual data frame, the main data frame. So I have the main data frame, that is filtered data. I want to override my score column. I want to override my score column with positive, negative. And now when I check my filtered data, you can see that in filtered data, my scores are zeros and ones. I have overwritten that, right? I have overwritten that. Right, so I have now zeros and ones as my score. 0 means negative review, 1 means positive review. And if I check the number of records, how many records are there, I can very well check that by writing the command filtered data dot shape. You can see I have these many records, 5 lakhs, 25,814. And I have 10 columns. Right? So that is my total volume of data as of now. So as of now, what we did till now is that I just started importing the data and did a minor manipulation to change my reviews. I want to know how many users are there. In this data, I have the users also, I have the products also. I want to check how many users are there, how many products are there, how many users review we have, right? So we'll have filter data. I'll take my user ID and I'll find the unique value. I'm getting unique user IDs. These are the unique user IDs. And my intention is that I want to know how many user IDs are there, basically. So there are 2,43,414 user IDs are there with me. That means in this data set, I have 2 lakh users, 2.5 approximately. Users are there, 2.5 lakhs. How many products we are going to talk about here? I have the filter data. I have the product ID and unique. Again, you will get all the product IDs, but I want the total number of count. So length is the command basically helping me to get the count. 72,000 products are there. Okay. So that is the whole idea we have. So I got the decent understanding of my data set, that what it is, how it is, and what is the meaning of the data and so on. Now my task is basically to clean this data set also. I got this data, which is very well good. I have that. But now what? Now what to do? I have to apply some cleaning steps. I want to clean my data set. I want to see some of the discrepancies are there or not. Right? That is the whole idea. Is there any duplicates or not? And all those details we have to check. So I found out some of the patterns in this data, which is like very interesting, and we'll try to understand that. So that pattern is very much important for us to find out. If you're not able to find the discrepancies in the data set, then it's a problem, which obviously you have to find out. So the first pattern which I found out is basically, if I take one query, if I write one query, right, and you'll understand that. I will get the data, I'll write one query, let's say display is equal to pd.read. I'll again go to SQL. So SQL query. And here I will write the query as select star from reviews where score is not. I'm directly getting the data from the database. I'm not using my data frame as of now, right? I'm just using my source directly. And user ID is equal to, I'll take one user ID, right? I'll take one user ID AR5J8UI 46CURR. This is one of the user IDs. After that, I will write order by product ID. This query I want to run in my connection. Right, so I'll just write triple quotes, yeah, from my connection. And I will say display dot head. It will give me first 5 records basically. Head by default gives the first 5 records. I hope the query will run fine. Yeah, query ran fine. And now here is the very interesting output you will see. One of the very interesting outputs. Here you can see that there is a user called Geetha Krishnan. She gave the review of various products. You can see here, this is the product ID, and in fact this is the again one more product ID. Both are different. Third one is also different. Fourth one is also different, and the fifth one is also different. So you will say that's fine, right? She must have purchased 5 products and she must have given the ratings. I agree to it. But you see, helpfulness numerator is same for every product. Helpfulness denominator is also same for every product. Rating is also same for every product. The time is also same for every product. And the review is exactly same for every product. Now, what is that? At a single point in time, how can she give the rating to 5 products? This is one of the very interesting insight we are getting, which is not possible, right? These are 5 different products. And at the same point in time, you are giving the rating to all the 5 products and that too same rating. Something is wrong, or something is which we have to understand what's going on. So what I will do is I'll have to look at these products, basically what these products are. I'll copy this product ID. I'll go to amazon.com/dp display product. DP means display product / I will give the product ID and enter. And you can see that this product ID is nothing but Locker Quadratini lemon wafer cookies, 8.2 ounces. Okay, which is done by this Locker store, right? The product owned by Locker store. If I go to the second product, I'll go here, change this product ID and put that product ID. And now you can see this is also Quadratini tiramisu wafer. The flavor is different. And the same owner, Locker store. So now, what does that mean? It means that Locker store must have told that whatever review you are getting for one of my products, kindly replicate that to all my products, because all are same. It's just a flavor difference, right? So what they are saying is that whatever product review I am getting on my, replicate that to all the products of same type, right? That is what happening here. If I take the third one, right, that will also be of same type. Let's check that. You can see that is also Quadratini. So basically, that is the whole idea which Locker store is doing, that whatever review I will get from any person, that review will replicate it to every product of the same type. And that is the reason I see these duplicates in my data set, which obviously may not make any sense to me. Or I may have to remove the duplicates, right? Because I want the single rating. I don't want all the ratings. So I have to clean that, right? I have to clean that. So that is one of the thing which I found out, right? So I can very well go ahead and clean this data set. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I will sort my data first of all. Filtered data dot sort values. I have the product ID. X is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 basically is nothing but the column. Ascending order, I want it as true. In place is equal to false, which is going to not replace the data. Kind is equal to, basically what type of sorting I want. So I'll do quick sort. Quick sort and NA position is equal to last. So when I run this command, I got some error. So need to check what is the error coming in here. Product ID. Is I small or capital? Okay, D is small. Yeah. So I have the sorted data, which is with me. I sorted the data. And after that, I will remove the duplicates from this sorted data. So my final data will be sorted data dot. There is a command called drop duplicates. I want to drop duplicates on certain column. If you find the duplicates based on the user ID, if you will find the duplicates based on the profile name, if you find the duplicate based on the time and the text, right? Combination of these 4 columns, if you find the duplicates, then I have to remove that. Just keep the first one. Just keep the first one. Right? That is what I'm looking for. And I will write here in place is equal to false. And now when I check my final dot shape, you can see that I will have some less number of records. The final number of records which I have now is 3,64,000. We started with 5,25,000. We dropped approximately 2 lakh records because those were duplicates in my data set. No point putting that duplicates in my data set, right? So that I have to remove in any case. How much loss I had in my total number of records? The current record 364,173 divided by the previous record into 100. That much loss I had, right? So basically final records, the records which are in final based on the ID. Dot size is the command which will give me the total count into 1.0. I'll have this as my numerator. These many records are left with me, divided by filtered data, which is my original data frame, which consists of 5 lakh records. ID dot size into 1.0 again into 100. And the output which you are going to get is 69% records. So based on my 100% records, which I had 5,25,000, I have 69% records left with me. Right? This much of record I have left with me, which is okay. That's fine. I need the proper data. Again, I cannot put anything in the algorithm. Machine learning is, again, there is a good saying, garbage in, garbage out. If you are putting garbage, you will get garbage only. So better to have the proper data in the algorithm, right? So I have to clean all these things. Very, very critical steps. One more pattern I found out. Let's see that. And again, these patterns are basically you have to find by yourself as a data scientist, right? There is no book for it. That okay, if I get a problem statement, then how to go and solve the problem statement. These are the steps you have to perform. But yes, in that step, I have to find the pattern. Every data will have its own pattern. Every data will have its own issues, right? So that comes with the exploration of data. Very, very important step, right? So it's not a fixed guidelines. That is purely based on what data you are dealing with. So pd.read SQL again. I'm going with the original data only, first of all. And here I will write one query again. Select star from reviews where score is not equal to 3. And I'll take 2 IDs. ID is equal to 44737 or ID is equal to 64422. Order by product ID, comma, connection, and display dot head. Now here I am also getting one interesting insight. My helpfulness numerator is 3. My helpfulness denominator is 1. My helpfulness numerator is 3. My helpfulness denominator is 2. Is that possible? It is not. Because what is my numerator? How many people liked the comment, or how many people found that comment as helpful upon total number of customers? How can be total number of customers less than the liked? Not possible, right? How can my numerator be bigger than the denominator? Not possible. So this is again a problem. This is again a problem in the data. So I have to remove this type of records as well, which is actually not making any sense. I want all the records where my helpfulness numerator is less than or equal to denominator, right? So what I'll do, I'll have a final, which is again, I'll apply some filter out here. Final dot helpfulness numerator is less than equal to final dot helpfulness denominator. That is the logic, simple logic I'm applying, right? So I'll have all the records which has the numerator less than or equal to denominator. This type of records will no longer be there. We can check the final number of records now. There should be some difference. You can see I have 364171. Earlier I had 364173. Only 2 records. These 2 records only we have removed, not much. Right, so this is the only record. There is a problem and I removed that. Now if I go to the score column, now the main part is the score column, because I want to predict the score, right, based on the data. So I have the score column dot, there is a command called value counts. This will gonna help me understand that how many records are there. Right, so total number of, here you can see, let me check one thing. So I have the final data, which consists of all the score. Looks like all score are 0, 3,64,000. So something is going wrong here that we have to check again. So basically this command gonna help me to do final score dot value counts. This will help me understand that how many records are positives and negatives, and you can see all became 0. I think some problem happened at the top. We made something wrong here that I need to check. I'll check that. But basically this command is going to help me understand that how many positive records are there and how many negative records are there. Right, as of now it is showing all negative. I think there is some issue is there at the above steps. I'll check that. But at this point we are done with the basic data pre-processing. Whatever we have to remove the content, right? Whatever unnecessary data I have and everything, I have removed it. So this much of the thing which we have done, this is like the basic thing which you have to do. We still not started the problem solving. We just prepared the data. There is obviously some issue are coming in here. I'll just check that. But this is the different steps which you have to perform while dealing with a data set. Now, if I come back to my data, the important thing which I found out is that summary and the text is the field which is the main field for me to play around with the data. This is the main field which I have to deal with. And when we are solving the machine learning problem, in machine learning problem, basically, it's basically mathematics which we are going to do, right? Linear algebra, statistics, and all those things. And we are dealing with the texts. How will I apply maths on the text? We cannot apply that. So what to do? To get the power of linear algebra, I need to somehow convert this text. I need to somehow convert this text into a vectors. I need to convert into vectors so that I can leverage the linear algebra concepts. But now question arises, how? How can we convert the text, which are the English words and the sentences, into a numerical vector? And what is the benefit basically? I have a review. My requirement is that I want to convert this review to d-dimension vector. I want to convert this review to d-dimension vector. And let's say these are my reviews. My ultimate aim is that these are my positive reviews and these are my negative reviews. My ultimate aim is that I want to come up with a plane which will segregate my positive and the negative reviews. These are my positive reviews and these are my negative reviews. My ultimate aim is that I want to come up with a plane which will segregate my positive and negative reviews, where I will have a vector W normal to the plane. Right? I have a vector W normal to the plane. And we have learned in our logistic regression and other algorithms, W transpose Xi. For example, I am talking about this point. This point is towards the plane, right? This point is towards the plane, or towards the W, basically, towards the vector W. So as this point is towards W, W transpose Xi will be more than 0. And if I talk about this point is opposite direction of W. So my W transpose Xi will be less than 0. So we are coming up with a classifier. When my W transpose Xi is more than 0, then I can say it's a positive point. And when my W transpose Xi is less than 0, I can say that it is a negative point. Right? That is the logic we have to build. Right? So basically W transpose Xi is nothing but I have a vector. Let's say I have a vector W, W1, W2, W3, and I have the vector Xi, X1, X2, X3. I am multiplying these two vectors. How we multiply these two vectors? I'll make this as column vector W1, W2, W3, and I have this row vector X1, X2, X3. That is how we multiply, right? So this row vector, I'm converting it to column vector by doing the transpose. That's why I'm writing W transpose Xi. Right? So that is what I want to apply somehow. But this thing only can be applied when I have these values, which are reviews, converted to the vectors. Right? I have to convert that to the vector. And then only these all mathematics can be applied. Right? Now, how to go about that? I have a text. My task is to convert into d-dimension vector. Let's say I have a review 1, I have a review 2, and I have a review 3. Okay. My task is I have to convert this review 1 to a vector 1. I have to convert this review 2 to the vector 2, and I have to convert this review 3 to vector 3. That is my ultimate aim is. And I will find the distance between the vectors now. Think of a simple mathematics. Let's consider that I have only two words in every review. Let's consider two words, right? So let's say this is my vector where I will have, let's take one example. Let's take very simple example so that you will understand. I have a vector, or I can have a review which has two words only. Let's say very good. Okay, that is my first review. We'll take some bigger words also, bigger sentences also, but let's try to understand from here. Next is pathetic pizza. And the third one is, let's say, very nice. Right? 3 reviews are there with me. My ultimate aim is that I want to apply mathematics on that. So what I will do, I will create one vector. What my algorithm will do, we will talk about that more in detail. What my algorithm will do basically, it will generate a vector of unique words. What all unique words are there with me? I have very with me, I have good with me, I have pathetic with me, I have pizza with me, and I have nice with me. Total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words are there. So what I will do is I'll create a vector of size 5. Right? This is my review 1. Same way I will have a review 2, and same way I will have a review 3. Let's try to understand this. Okay, 3 reviews are there. In my first review, what all words are there? Very is there, good is there. Let's say my first section of my vector is very, second is good, third is pathetic, fourth is pizza, and fifth is nice. So somehow I want to apply a logic where I will have 1, because in my first review, very is there, yes, 1. Good is there, yes, 1. Pathetic is there, no, 0. Pizza is there, no, 0. Nice is there, no, 0. So this is my vector for review 1. Same way for review 2, pathetic pizza, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. And same way my third vector for review 3. Very is there, so 1. Nice is there, so all these are becoming 0 and 1. Now this is my vectors, and now I can apply the mathematics easily, right? I want to know which reviews are the best, nearby review, which reviews are the same type of reviews at the end. That is what my requirement is. And we know in our school days, we studied about the Pythagoras theorem, right? You know the spelling theorem, right? So basically I have the data where I have my x1 and y1. I'm not going with 5 dimension because it's not going to be very much possible for me to create that. But let's assume I have a 2-dimension space. So I have my x1, y1 and I have my x2, y2. Right? This is my x1, y1. This is my x2, y2. And I want to find the distance between the 2 points. Right? Pythagoras theorem. Let's say this is my review number 1. This is my review number 2. And let's say my review number 3 is here. x3, y3. I will find the distance of review 1 with review 2, which is nothing but square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Same way, I'll find the distance of review 1 with review 3 as well, right? Square root of x1 or x3 minus x1 whole square plus y3 minus y1 whole square. If this distance is smaller than this distance, then I can say these two reviews are of same type, because the distance between R1 and R2 is less than R1 and R3. So basically, similarity between R1 and R2 is more than similarity between R1 and R3. Similarity as in English similarity, right? Very, very common words. Nice, good, right? Like very is the common. So similarity between R1 and R2 is more than R1 and R3. So as the similarity is same, what will happen in this scenario? I will subtract what's happening, x2 minus x1. So this minus this, 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 and square of that. 1 minus 1 is 0, so 0. 1 minus 0 is 1, so 1. 0 minus 0 is 0, so 0. 0 minus 0 is 0, so 0. 1 minus 0, again 1. What is the distance? 2, square root of 2. The distance between R2 and R1 and R3 is square root of 2. However, if I go and check the distance between R1 and R2, this is 1, this is also 1, this is also 1, this is also 1, 0. Square root of 4, that is 2. Which is bigger? 2 is bigger than square root of 2. That means R1 and R3 are of same type because the distance between R1 and R3 is lesser than R1 and R2. And that makes sense. Very good, very nice. They are of same type. Pathetic pizza is altogether a different review, negative review. And that is what we saw here. So basically my distance between the points are the important factor. And you can see from the English, I am coming to the mathematical vectors, finding the distances and coming up with the output. How cool is that?